You know what? Let's bring her over here.
And you two, I want you a little closer. Thank you. How's this look?
Better.
Good.
All right. Let's do it up.
Rolling.
And action.
Boy, I feel like I'm heavy with weight. I'm glad it's over with. Yeah, it's going on right now.
Are you recording this too?
Yes, I'm recording it because I want to hear some of the comments on this one. Okay. Well, let's start with Father Alphonsus and see what his reactions were to it. He can probably describe what happened because I don't remember too much of it, and then I'll be able to understand.
Well, you were first speaking in the same tone, in the same way you did down here. In a very calm and sort of commenting on different vibrations that you got. And then all at once you stopped for a moment, paused for a moment, and then you start. You were completely unaware of us, and you started talking to the entity that was there, whom you had described as a blind girl, a young blind girl. You kept saying to it that it had to leave, but it did not want to leave. And of course, the spirit, we could not hear it, but we got the implication that it was determined to stay here. And you were saying with more force each time that it should leave. And then, as you did this, your body began to contort, especially your face and your hands. Your fingers curled up, and your arms, and your mouth began to open and contort, and you were in a deep trance. I've seen this under deep hypnosis. The same thing, and you were in a very, very deep trance, and what energy was fighting you completely, and you began to sway and start to fall backwards, and I put my arm around you and began to hold you, and then you just simply seemed to drop almost down so that the weight was almost more than I could hold. I had to brace myself, and I could barely hold you up, and you remained that way for a while there until the very end. I don't know how much else to mention, except I did notice too, as you walked into the room, at least 1 or 2 lights flickered. I noticed that. In fact, I went outside to look at it. But whatever it was putting up a tremendous battle. And you felt completely exhausted, but you didn't give up. And I would say after I put my hand around you, as I said before, to support you, but also I felt to try, perhaps to give you some of my energy. And after I did this, you seemed to be a little stronger, and you seemed to continue to fight. But there was one moment there when your voice went low, and it seemed as if the spirit was going to win out. And it really did. And then you sort of took up the fight again and managed to absorb the energy.
Well, as far as now, I feel great. I was burning. When I came out, I was burning like hell. Pardon the expression. I realized there was a lot of deep breathing when I came out, as if I had won out, and I did. And the question could be asked, did I win out, or didn't I? The question I feel I did, because if I hadn't, there probably would have been a very large scream for me, and a woman's voice, which would have said she won out. So from the reactions I can see of my own, because I didn't feel any effect, I feel very strongly. I don't feel, I know that I picked up some energy. I think that the weight energy, Father, seems to realize that I had fought it, and that I was holding on to it, and that I wasn't going to let her take over.
Great.
There was no time that I felt like I was in any danger, because I know that I'm always protected in some way. This is the first time that I did go that far. or that something had happened to me. The other was merely conversation. Father, you said there was some conversations. Do you recall what the conversations were? How did it appear to you?
Well, it seems as if you were just telling the entity that it had to go, and it kept refusing. And you kept saying that it had to go, and in one instance you said something about, no, there can't be a baby, or something of that nature. We'll have to play the tape back, but there was some reference to a baby, or about a baby. I don't remember exactly.
Do you remember where this scene took place? Did I say anything concerning it?
Oh, yes. You mentioned that the girl had a boyfriend who died. It must have been the one she was in love with, and he died by drowning. And that she became very neurotic and she wouldn't leave her room. And she remained in her room. And there was a tremendous amount of sorrow there. I don't recall much else. That's what you were saying beforehand. Before.
I was asking whether it was energy that had come from the other woman, or whether it was energy from the house. In that room is what I was wondering. See, I don't recall any of this.
I don't recall myself at this point.
Yes, well, we'll probably have to play the tape over again to find out. I feel great. I don't feel... Well, I feel as normal as... you know. I just hope that none of you...
Oh, and another thing that you did say, and it will come out in the tape. I know that you burned me.
Is that right?
Yes, you said that. I know that you burned me, so maybe that was the one.
That's strange. I don't recall that.
And you said that I know that you burned me. I wasn't quite... It wasn't too loud. I heard it. I was right near your face.
I don't recall very much of that conversation. I know that at some point I was beginning to feel a dead weight, and I didn't know what was going to happen. But from then on, I don't remember. I don't know. I really don't know. You were there. What did you observe at your end? As you were watching, anything?
Basically what the father said.
What Father said. What about you? What?
That concurs with what I saw.
Did you notice me bracing myself? The weight. I couldn't hold you, and I'm very strong.
That heavy.
Oh, yes.
Apparently, you were holding him up, and you had very little control over where you were following.
Okay, that's about all I can say.
Did he mention that your hands were like...
What? What is it?
They were curled up.
As if I were fighting someone?
Well, it was like a struggle. Definitely a struggle. And you were twisting like this.
Oh my God.
You'll see yourself.
David, you look like you were out of it.
Ye! Hold! UFO! Store!